Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. Today I'm going to use one of my favorite art prompts to create a unique abstract mixed media painting. The prompt is Cracks in the Pavement, which I've made a previous video about where I shared 5 examples. Here is my quick sketch of some cracks in the pavement I recently saw, and here is the abstract painting. I started by putting down some yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and a little bit of white at one point, and just using a brayer to get a background down. And now I'm just using a charcoal pencil to put down a very loose, rough sketch of the cracks in the pavement. This is a mixed media piece, so I'll be including some torn cardboard and newsprint. The colors I used on this were yellow ochre, burnt sienna, Payne's gray, titanium white, permanent magenta, and light blue permanent. So I'm now trying to put down some newsprint. I started trying to get bulletin on there, and you can see that it kind of went off the page, so ended up with bullet, which I left on here for most of the painting, and I just never really felt like that word kind of worked with this painting. So after I pull the tape off at the end of this, I end up going back in and putting another part of a word over top of that to make it a little more abstract. It really kind of felt like the word was pulling away from the rest of the painting. So I kind of fixed that at the very end. So you'll see kind of how I did that. And then I put down some cardboard that I'd ripped part of the top portion of the cardboard off, so you can see the striations in the cardboard, just to give a little bit more texture to this piece. I also used a brush, a silicone brush, charcoal pencil, cardboard newspaper, and a brayer in this painting. You might notice that I'm using yellow tape on this sketchbook page this time. Sybil suggested in the comments that I try yellow frog tape, which honestly I'd never heard of. And she had said that it worked really well and didn't rip the paper. So I went ahead and got some, and I gotta say she's right, and I'm sold on it. It is a little more expensive than most blue painting tapes, but I found it to be well worth it. With that said, I still have a couple of rolls of blue tape left, so I'll probably use up that before I get another roll of frog tape. But I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out frog tape. Again, I'd never heard of it, and I'm pretty impressed with it. And if you have other tools that you use that work well, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions to kind of up my game a little bit and make things a little more effective and efficient. So right now I'm kind of filling in some of these sections with just kind of mixes of the colors that I had on my palette, and then now I'm trying to kind of isolate that middle section by putting down a layer, another layer of acrylic paint, which is basically just a mix of Payne's gray and titanium white, and using that silicone paintbrush to kind of get some of the little corners there. And I think at one point I'm bringing a flat brush a small flat brush to just kind of get some of the little nooks and crannies. I do use a hairdryer several times to dry this painting, and I cut those pieces out of the video. But as I said, this is an art prompt that I've used many times before. And it's just, you can find cracks in pavement and sidewalk, in the sidewalks all over the place. And you can just really have endless amount of abstract paintings from. You can probably use one and just flip it around and make hundreds of different paintings out of it. But at this point, I mean, this painting kind of took off, and I really was enjoying where this was going. Like I said, I was not real keen on the word bullet in there. I really didn't like just having a complete word in there. I just felt like it was kind of drawing the eye to that term, or that word, in that piece of newsprint, which I really didn't want that to. My focal point was really kind of that blue area, and I felt like the newsprint was kind of competing with that. And now I've got sounds like a cat that's ready to come in and watch some painting. And then putting a little bit of that light permanent blue in another area just to kind of create some harmony. This painting, this piece really kind of went on its own. From the get-go, I put down the sketch and started filling in some of these blocks, and just kind of felt like I had a good direction. So let me know if you've used the cracks in the pavement prompt before. Like I said, I've got a video, and I'll put a link to that at the end of the video, so you can check that out if you haven't seen it. But let me know if you've used that and had any success with it. It's one that I've used many times, and every time I get a different piece out of it, which is nice. So now I'm just going back to the charcoal pencil and trying to kind of isolate each of these shapes, make them a little more distinct. And also let me know if you have any prompts that you like to use. Like I said, I'm always looking for good ideas and suggestions. I have a list going of suggestions that people have made as far as tools to use and prompts and things they would like maybe to see me try and paint, and see my take on it. So I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe to see more videos like this. I've really started using charcoal pencils and blocks of charcoal a lot more lately, and really like the look it's giving. So here I'm pulling that tape off, and you can see it just comes right off. I had no bleed through underneath it or anything. So this is where I kind of finished after I pulled the tape off, and I'll show you right away after I show you different orientations of this what I did with the newsprint section. So I basically just ripped another piece of newsprint out and kind of layered it over a little bit. So you can still see a little bit of the term underneath, or I don't know why I want to say term, but the word underneath, and then this broken term word. And then I just need to go back with some yellow ochre, kind of watered down yellow ochre, and try and put a little bit of a tint to that. And then I pull out the charcoal pencil and try and put a little bit over the letters of the new piece of newsprint, and didn't dry it very well, and so it rips, and end up bringing out some Payne's gray and covering over some of those letters a little bit, and actually ended up really liking the way that looked at the end. I think it gave a little bit of new dimension to this piece, and also helped tie in that darker block in the middle to the left there with the rest of the painting. I really had a good time doing this one. This was one of those rare pieces that you start and it just kind of naturally goes in a direction. You're not thinking too much and just playing and having a good time. But felt like it had a direction the whole time. I was doing this. So here is the final piece. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave those for me. And otherwise, thanks for watching and keep on painting.